Welcome back, everybody, to Kohler Bluff Dynasty here on College Football 26. It is the off-season video here for our second season that we have just finished up. Last episode, we unlocked Motivator Tactician. We decided to dip our toes into Motivator. Going to start kind of going through our offensive line, build that up here. Going to build, really the main goal is to build up Motivator throughout the season. But yeah, going to get this built up. Right now, it's only the first one, which is Reach Your Potential, which I believe has actually been nerfed. So we have some guys looking to transfer here, and, you know, I'm not sure who we're going to keep. We're going to try to keep Hartley. He decided to stay. Can we keep Nick Forsythe? And we failed to convince him to come back. So look at all these players that are leaving, mostly because of all because of graduation. But yes, we are going to miss some receivers here. Malik Henderson going to be gone. Some defenders are going to be gone too, but a little disappointed to see some of these guys go. But we're not at the point where we can start expecting guys to get drafted. So here is the current draft class. I'm thinking of Madden. This is our current recruiting board right now. We have a lot of guys that we are in the top 3, top 5 on. Carter Pounds. I believe this is a tight end. 6'5", 220 pounds. A lot of these guys, we are in a position to still hard sell. These guys, we could schedule a visit with them, but actually, I believe at this point, there might have been something wrong with visits. Actually, I think they were glitched at this point in time, or there was something with them. I can't exactly remember. I recorded this stuff in October, so there were still like leaves on trees and stuff when this stuff was recorded. So forgive me for not remembering everything exactly, but Alfonso Alibi, we have a good sell for him, so I feel very confident we'll be able to wrap up that recruitment. Richard McKenna, edge player, we have a good ability to sell him, but we're actually just going to go with, actually I don't know if we did, but I believe we just went with Son the House or some of these other guys here too. So this quarterback, Vince, however you pronounce it, Abba Amiri. Some of these names are a little, some of these names, man. But this guy right here, I think that this should be enough to sell. A B+, a B-, and a D. I might have been looking at the kind of recruiting calculator here with Kevin Belisari, trying to see if it was right to either sell. But either way, it's not even active to us at this point. We just send the house. Gonna send the house and Aries Haj. But we come through here. We're going to look around now, add some more guys to the board. Howie Bates, strong safety. Going to send the house. Again, at this point, you are trying to, I think, you know, get in where you can get in with some of these guys. We are in the top 3, even first with some of these guys. And I feel like we can really kind of just fill out our board here. And we're going to try Kevin Yashevitz, who we are not, he has no interest in us actually, so we're going to try to jump onto his board, but I think I make the fatal error of not actually committing enough points to him, because I'm committing, you know, 50 to other guys. We put 25 here on Jeff Gain, and then we try the 10 and 5 here with Kevin Yashevitz. We try that with him, and it doesn't work. We don't even get into his top 8, but we still get into the top 8 with these other guys. Some of these guys, again, if they're already interested in us, we were able to get in there, and a bunch of guys here. And look at all 3 stars. That's what we're focusing on here in the transfer portal. That's kind of just what we're going with. And so we're gonna get that guy. How do you pronounce his goddamn name? I know he might be a fictional player, so it doesn't matter how I pronounce his name technically, but you want to be somewhat correct here, right? I assume so. But looking through here, trying to find some more wide receivers, some transfers. There's still some high school guys we can go after too, but just looking around, trying to find some more talent that we can just kind of, I feel like, insert here right away, right? Kind of just guys who can probably hit the ground somewhat running, and we don't even have to worry about kind of what they're going to perform like. So we do add a couple more receivers. Just because you lose receiver talent, you want to kind of replace it and add some more guys in, you know, just to kind of get things rolling here. But everything else looks pretty good right now. Jeff Gain, we are going to go with a full-on send the house for him. Probably should have did that anyways. Everything else looks pretty good. Some of these guys we don't know if we can sell just yet, because that would clear up a little bit of some hours, but as of right now we're just not in a position to sell on them. So right now, big board, a lot of guys here. Currently we are up to 23 targets, and we're looking good on most of them, I would have to say. So a good chance to have a pretty big class. We're going to advance on here. Does anyone commit just yet? We're really close to some of these other guys, and we do get a commitment here. That's Carter Pounds, tight end out of Akron, Ohio. We do get that commitment, and we're looking pretty good on everyone, on a lot of other players. Some of these guys reaching their top 5, some of these guys in their top 3, and we're in first place, and we're not into too many recruiting battles just yet. So that's always good to see, honestly. I hate seeing that recruiting battle thing, because it's just like, oh, the game has decided I'm not getting that prospect. That's just not going to happen for us. But top 3 here on Alibi, top 3 here on McKenna. Feel pretty good about that, honestly. Probably not going to sell. We're top 5 on that guy, top 5 on this guy, top 8 on Bobby Upshaw, closing in on the fullback here, getting into the top 5, and we can sell here. So, and we can't sell because it's not ready yet. So this guy, Howie Bates, he has great hair. Some of these guys, we're probably never even going to attempt to sell. We do fall a little bit here with Rodney Fields Jr., and our best things we can't sell, and it's Oklahoma State, and they have a pipeline, so we are just going to back out of that recruitment entirely because it's not going to happen. Look, we come back through, we're trying to find maybe another a running back, if we can find one. We do at least need to get one, and Mekhi Frazier, it's a transfer junior. Always good to have that depth. He has not been offered by anyone just yet, so you always like to see that in this time of year, because you can kind of get in there and try to, I don't want to say steal, but you can definitely get in there and make your case. And yeah, Bryson Hayes, we're still attempting here. He does have a slight pipeline with us, and maybe that can help it out. It's only tier 1, which is bronze. So I'm going to advance on again, kind of see what things are looking at. Do we get any more commitments? And we do get one here. Alfonso Alibi, a center from Oak Park, Michigan. He does commit to us. Only one so far, but we're still looking pretty good with these other ones. Mekhi Frazier, we jump up to number 1 with him, that running back. He's in his top 8. We were probably the first school to offer him a scholarship. And we're looking pretty good with the rest of these guys. 2 guys in the top 3 that we are in first place on, so I feel very good about that. A couple guys in the top 5. Still looking around here, more offensive line depth. So Quinn Groverstein Mechie, Evansville, Wisconsin. I would like to add that. Always good to have that offensive line depth. I really think getting our offensive line better is kind of something that really set us on the path for success here in this second season. So gonna add some more guys here. At this point, you're just offering scholarships, and you're gonna kind of see what happens, right? You're gonna see, maybe we can get some of these guys to commit, and that'd be great, honestly. Looking through here, we could start moving some of these to sells, but it's just really not a feeling that I need to. We're basically in good position, but we are going to. I just lied to you all. If we're in the top 3 with them and then no one's catching up, okay, now I'm remembering this pretty good. We're going to take off the send the house, put these to contact family and friends, and since no one is really catching up in terms of influence, we feel confident enough that we could basically take some hours from those guys and then kind of distribute them in here with these transfers that we are attempting to get. And that does give us some more hours to play with here. We're going to add 5 here, then add 5 here, and that might be enough to get these guys. I feel like these other players that the schools aren't necessarily going after as hard. So that was kind of the logic there. And it's the last week of recruiting. So if we can jump some of these other schools with the boost in offering the scholarship, that would help. So let's see. Howie Bates, 3-star strong safety. We get him. Good. We're good. We need strong safeties. We need safeties. We do get Rich McKenna. We also get Vince Amiri, quarterback. No clue when he'll play, if he ever will. Kevin Belisari. We get the weak inside linebacker. We get Bobby Upshaw. We also get Aries. We get Aries Aj. We get Malcolm Ziegler, another safety. We also get Tadarius Collins, left edge. We also get Larry Havener. We also get Jeff Gain. We get another corner. Always like seeing that. And we get Cameron Hopkins, wide receiver. So this is just we're getting a lot of players that we wanted to get. And again, we had a very successful, we get the running back as well. We had a very good transfer portal. We went after guys that I think were kind of in our range, which was only 3 stars we focused on. We didn't try to tempt any 4 stars. Maybe we should have pushed it a little bit more, but getting all of these 3 stars, these are all guys who, can contribute for the most part either this year or next year, right? So that's kind of something that I like seeing. And just see, look at all this blue on here. We did not get Cameron Williams. He ends up committing elsewhere. I thought we were in first place on him, so I guess someone else decided to make a push. Probably someone with a stronger pipeline, if I had to take a real guess. So that is a little disappointing. He goes to Old Dominion. And so, yeah. And then this is interesting. We don't get Quinn Groverstream Matchy. Or do we? You'll see a little bit later, but it says we didn't get him. But, yeah. We take a look here. Star. Most of these are either normal, impact. We got 1 star. Not too upset about Cameron Williams. He is only a normal deb. We get a star here in Jeff Gain. Impact for Collins. A couple more impacts. You always like seeing that star here for Rich McKenna. So that's a pretty good one. Nothing more than that. Just normal star and impact. That's kind of it for us in terms of this recruiting class. And we only had a couple 2 stars on our class. We'll take a look here at the class entirely, but of course we're not in the top half here with these other big dog programs, but we are in the top 50 in terms of the nation, right? I mean, that's pretty good, honestly. We're sitting here like with Louisville. We have a better recruiting class than Iowa and Boise State. 23 stars, 1 4-star, 4 2-star prospects. In terms of the MAC, clearly we had a pretty by a decent margin, by a good margin, we had the best recruiting class. The only school in the MAC to get a 4-star commit, everyone else only got 3 stars. Most of these classes were built out of 1 and 2 stars, but for us, 3 stars and a 1 4-star. So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with some training right now, and I went through and did a lot of this. I believe I skipped over it last year, but I'll talk with you about it a little more in depth right now. Darius McLean, our starting quarterback. He still has a decent bit way to go, actually, in terms of his upgrades. And we are going to go with power. I want that throw power up. We're going to spend a lot of points on it here. And, he's not going to get too many accuracy upgrades. Because of that, he's only going to get 1 accuracy upgrade. And we could have spent more on accuracy by 1 to get his throw power up. That was kind of the thing that I was most concerned about and just felt like getting better. And he only goes up to a 76 overall. Now, Deshaun McBride, 46 points here. We could spend some of this on power if we want to. Or we could probably finish off elusiveness. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to spend the last of these points. Or no, we're going to max out his quickness and elusiveness. Could go with his hands. Could go with power. But we're going to make 1 for hands. And again, 23 points to spend. Now 19 points to spend. And more for hands. More for catching and carrying. And we're going to go here a little bit of route running as well. Kind of just make him even more awesome to use. And now we have 3 more points to spend here. Where can we spend them? Well, on physicals. Always forget that you can buy the abilities yourself here. And we probably only have 1 that we can buy. And that is going to be downhill. And he will break tackles at max speed. So he's going to come into Season 3 an 80 overall after his breakout season last year. So Joseph Montgomery was a 3-star for us. And I believe he was our first 3-star. Might have been the best recruit we had in that class our first year. And we're going to go with route running. And that's going to max out his route running. That's as good as his route running will ever be. And we're gonna go with hands. Want to get those hands better. Make sure he can catch, because we kind of expect Montgomery to play a little bit of a bigger role going into year number 3 here. We can't upgrade his quickness just yet. That'll have to be for his junior year when we kind of get that upgraded. This we'll just spend on IQ, get his awareness up a little bit. He goes up to a 73 overall. He'll be able to contribute. So Jamal Rivers, we are going to spend some points here, and we are going to spend it on ability, 50-50, improved jump ball ability, even though, guys, I feel like rarely ever catch jump balls in these games now. I don't know what that's about. There's not really jump balls in college in these EA games, because, like, I think the guys who play these games online complained about it. But Jamal Rivers is going to be far and away our best receiver. You know, he is going to be really good, honestly. We're going to go with quickness here, too. Spend some more on that. So he's going to be fast. He has good hands. He's good route running. He goes up to an 88 overall. So that's going to be a big weapon for us in the passing game. Now, we come through here now, going to start upgrading our offensive line. JJ Shipley here. And we're looking around. What do we want to upgrade? We're going to go with quickness here for him. And then we're going to go with footwork. We're kind of getting a little bit of everything with him. But JJ Shipley, going to be a starter for us for sure. And looking around, where do we want to go? Do we want to go with power? We're going to spend at least one of these on power. 2 of them on power. Do we want to go with 3 on power? We are going to spend the rest here, I think, on pass blocking. And again, you see his overall just really jumping up pretty quick here. Goes up to a 76. We have anything that we can do here. And we can get strong grip, actually. And we're going to give him silver strong grip. So we come back power. We don't have enough to get that. So we are just going to spend. He has 8 points left. And we're going to spend the rest of that on pass blocking. And then we have 3 points left, and that will go to footwork. So no points left to spend. We have 1 point left to spend, but nothing costs 1 point. So now these corners, Jeff Gain comes to us with a ton of points, 54 of them. So shout out to wherever he previously went to. You got him a lot of upgrade points for us, and we are going to reap the benefits of this. And again, improve that man coverage. He's looking pretty good here. We're gonna have, this is probably gonna be at the very least our best corner room that we've had this entire series for sure. Jeff Gain is definitely gonna contribute to that. Now, I could be running the risk of making him too good to the point where he like declares for the draft. But that's still not bad for us, because that helps the program out entirely, because we get credit for getting him drafted. So he is going to go all the way up to an 85 overall. Really good coverage ratings here for him. We got a couple more corners that we can spend some points on. But yeah, 85 overall. That is way better than anything we had last year. So we have Devin Alexander, and we're going to focus on getting his man coverage ratings up. I mean, only a 68 at this point. Want to get that at least into the mid 70s, if not potentially max out his coverage. And he gets up to a 78. And we're going to spend some here on zone as well. And there we go. So 78 overall for him. That is very good. And then we still have some more guys that we can spend on, and that is probably going to be Larry Van Fleet. Going to get his ratings up, and his man coverage ratings absolutely need to go up. Need to get better there. And we are going to get him up to very least in the 80s with man coverage. Spend a little bit more right there, and he goes up to an 86 in man coverage. So Larry Van Fleet goes up to 81 overall. Corner room's looking pretty good, honestly, compared to where it was last year. And still some more points to spend here on Eric Thomas. Spending into man, because when I play defense, I mostly play man coverage, honestly. I just feel like calling zone at times is just kind of, I don't know, feels risky. Feels like you just kind of get torn apart if you call zone, no matter what. So making this corner room better. And we have Randall Glenn. He is a 2-star. So weird that you're seeing like brand exposure for 2-star guys. That's just always like really funny to me. That he's like, you know, yeah, I'm a 2-star prospect, but what about my brand? It's like, what are you talking about? You suck. Focus on playing better. Focus on becoming a better football player, not your brand, dude. What are you talking about? You're not going to get any brand deals here. But he goes up to a 71 overall, so not sure if he'll play much. I mean, he'll definitely get on the field. So we have some safeties we have to spend on, and shout out to wherever Malcolm Ziegler came from, because we have a lot to spend on with him. 49 points. And we're going to go with IQ here, because now I think about it, I probably should have spent a little more on IQ with those other players. But those other corners and stuff, we're going to get this up pretty high, actually, and it's relatively cheap. Like, it's not really going up that much. Now it costs 4 points. That still gives us a lot of points to spend elsewhere, but now we can start spending them here, right? That gave us just enough points to spend to get these ratings up here, and he is going to just fly up in overall here, all the way up to an 87. Look around here, no points to spend for any abilities. He just hasn't reached those thresholds yet to kind of get that. But looking around here, and we don't have enough to get hit power up. I'd love to do that, but we're just going to spend here on hands. So, you know, if he does get opportunities to catch the football, in terms of getting interceptions, he might actually be able to do it. And so, reach some skill caps right there. He goes to an 87 overall. Then we have Howie Bates, another transfer for us, and he's maxed out. We can spend once here on quickness, and that's it. I mean, that is it. We have no other points to spend here for Howie Bates. So we have Ethan Redding, quarterback. Now, our last quarterback, we focused on throw power, but Ethan Redding does have a better arm. I mean, he is completely maxed out there with his arm, and, you know, he kind of has a floor. He's definitely reached his ceiling, but, you know, it does make me wonder, is there going to be a quarterback battle for next season? I mean, McLean has been good for us, but Redding, you know, he looks pretty good in his own right. And, you know, he has gold dot here that we gave him. I mean, it's certainly interesting. They're very close in overall. Ethan Redding is actually technically better by an overall point, but he is a senior redshirt guy. Does it make more sense for us to just rock with McLean, though? Like, it makes more sense. But this is what I was talking about. Quinn Grovestein Mechie somehow ends up on our roster. So I don't know. Maybe he went to Iowa. I don't know. I think he committed to Iowa State. I don't know. But we end up nabbing him here, and he is going to be a 78 overall for us. He is likely going to start for us. So I'm not sure what happened there, but that's all for upgrades. Team will be better than the 66 overall, but we are leaving the MAC. That's right, leaving the MAC. We have outgrown it, and it's time for us to go to a little bit of a tougher conference. Not going to the ACC or the Big Ten just yet, but we do get an invite from the American. The American would love to have us. I think they view that we are a program on the come up. And with us leaving, well, Northern Illinois says, you know what? They kind of look around here, says, you know, it's time to bolt out of here, and they move on to the Mountain West. But that's not it. The Pac-12 is going to reform. The Pac-12 is not fully, not back to where it was, but the Pac-12 is going to make a bit of a comeback here. Oregon State, Washington State held things down here as the Pac-2, but it's now time for some of these West Coast teams to come home and come back to an actual West Coast conference. And that's going to be Arizona's coming back. We're also going to we're going to put Arizona State back in. There needs to be a true West Coast conference, in my opinion. There just does. Cal going back to the Pac-12. There's just a brand of football that you get with a West Coast conference that you don't get with these teams being in other conferences that they really shouldn't be in. We're putting BYU back in there. Still have some more teams. We're looking around, seeing where we want to go. Colorado, you're going back to the Pac, my friend. You are going back to the Pac. So now we're going to get this thing back to the Pac-8. And Boise State. So there, currently 8 teams in here, but we are not done yet. It is time for some of those Big Ten schools that left to go to the Big Ten. It's time for them to get their asses back into a conference that makes sense for them. And that is going to be UCLA. I think we are going to add back to the Pac. I thought about adding in you again. I can't remember. Yeah, I guess I remember. I have had these edited and ready to go for a while. I can't remember if I put USC back into the pack because I don't think I did, but I know there are some schools that moved to the ACC that need to move back, and that is going to be Stanford as well. So now this looks right, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like that looks like what the pack should be? There should be a West Coast conference with West Coast schools instead of this nonsense of letting some of these other schools kind of be in places where they shouldn't be. So Washington, we're going to move them back. Washington just doesn't feel like a fit in the Big Ten to me. It just doesn't work. You're just too far, my friend. You are too far west, I think, to be in the Big Ten. So we're looking around here. Is there any other schools that we think we can add in here? Is there anyone else that we can kick to the pack? We can, again, rebuilding this pack conference, I think is super important. And Utah, of course. Utah, you're going back to the Pac-12, which is now 12, actually. 4, 8, 12. So there we go. But we do have to get some new members into the Big Ten. And that is going to be Notre Dame. In real life, Notre Dame, I wish the college football playoff could be like, join a conference. Join a conference. You want to be in the playoff, join the conference. Join a conference, go win a conference championship, or compete for one, and we'll let you in to the playoff. But don't cry that you're not in. So we're looking around here. We're going to add some more schools. And there's been some talks about this, about one of these North Carolina schools leaving for either, again, the Big Ten or the SEC. In this timeline, North Carolina, UNC joins the Big Ten. Now, for college basketball, that's probably going to be really awesome. But Duke, where does Duke go? Duke, I feel like, is going to join the SEC. I think that just kind of makes sense for Duke. Duke feels like that's where they would join. They're kind of like the dark side, and SEC is kind of evil, right? I feel like that's where they would go. Just makes sense, I think. So Duke is pretty good in the sim, in these dynasty modes anyways. But that leaves one more, I think, team that could get rated here. We look at the Big 12. It's looking rough here, the Big 12. Big 12 does not look good. I don't think we can take anything else from the Big 12, which means we got to take one more school away from the ACC, and that is going to be Clemson. I think in this scenario, Clemson would join. But the ACC is looking rough here. I mean, in real life, I think at this point, if this were to happen, you'd probably see like a merger between the Big 12 and ACC just to stay alive. But Clemson also joins the SEC. You got Clemson and Duke in there. It's a hell of a conference right there. A lot of mouths in that conference. But we look around here, and there's probably still one more ACC team that could probably get moved, right? And you know what? After all the chaos, the leaders of the American Conference have decided, you know what? We need one more school. Let's really fill this thing out to 16. And that last school, as we look around here, do we take someone from Conference USA? Do we take FIU? Well, they decided not to take FIU. Look around the Mountain West. There's another school that could be kind of ripped from them. Well, not really. Well, you know what? There is still one school that kind of doesn't make sense in their conference geographically. And that is going to be not Miami. Nope. That team is going to be SMU, I think. And I think SMU is going to move to the American. They see the writing on the wall. The ACC is a dead conference. And maybe there's something in the American. Maybe they can go here for a year. Maybe try to get into the Big 12, or who knows what'll happen. But I think this makes a pretty tough conference for us, honestly. There's multiple ranked programs in here. This should be a tough conference for us, actually, to just kind of run through in a year like we did with the back. I don't think that's going to happen for Season 3, so we might take a step back on the field. But you see us, we go up to a 77 overall, 76 overall offense, 79 overall defense. Remember, overall is kind of weird how they do it in this game, but that is the overall right now, way better than what we were going into Season 2. And you saw how much better we were than like a lot of those MAC schools that we were still on the level with. So we take a look here at the recruiting, kind of our school grades, and us moving to the American, it doesn't get us a big bump up. We are a B-. The MAC is a C+, but that's still a bump up either way. So pretty good stuff. We're just not ready to be in one of these. I'm not sure how these conference ranks are like graded out. I don't really get that. Because the ACC should definitely be like one of the lower ranked conferences now after all the programs that they lost. But coach prestige, we're in the top 25 with that. We have a B plus here. We've shown at least for 1 year that you can win here at Kohler Bluff. So gonna go through and redo our schedule, and UCLA in here. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we do have Navy, and I realized that I gave myself the Navy Stadium, so technically there's going to be like a kind of a duplicate thing right there, but it is what it is. We take a look around here. Do we want to play any MAC schools? Kind of like, hey, remember when we were in your conference and we kicked your ass? Well, we're back to play ya. We take a look around here at the schedule. There's no one interesting here really for week 6, it feels like. So at this point, I just feel like I kind of have to put a MAC school here. And I don't think we played Eastern Michigan at all, so we'll add Eastern Michigan to the schedule week 6. Then we come here to week 4. I'm looking around here. I'm trying to find where we can play Wisconsin, and I'm just kind of not seeing it. I don't think I've played Colorado State, and we will play Colorado State. So week 1, can we get Wisconsin on the schedule? We do. That's a rivalry game for us, and we're going to add that. That is going to be our first game of the season. And we come back here for week 2. Old Dominion got a corner we wanted, so we will go on the road and play Old Dominion. So I think that's a pretty fine looking schedule, if I do say so myself. We are going to take on Navy at Navy, even though technically we have the same season. We end the season 3-game road trip. 3 games on the road. So we start the season on the road, we end the season on the road. Kind of a weird little schedule quirk right there, but that is going... Actually, we changed our week 2 schedule. Week 11. Who do I want to play week 11? I'm certainly not adding any big-time ranked teams. Like, we're not just going to go get our heads beat in just for the sake of getting our heads beat in. And we are looking around. We're going to add Western Michigan here. So we'll go to Waldo Stadium. I don't know if we played Western Michigan in our first 2 seasons in the MAC, but taking on Eastern and Western Michigan. Those are games that are pretty geographically close to us, and that is going to be the schedule for year number 3. So I want to thank you for watching this one. I'll definitely give you an update on recruiting when we get into season 3, but I want to thank you for watching this one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more Kohler Bluff Dynasty. Follow me on Twitter. Go follow the Madden channel if you're interested in Madden, which I do full-on rebuilds. I do have a full-on franchise series on that channel as well. But I want to thank you guys for watching this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.